Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I, again, was given a tool, the worst spot on the agenda, right after you've all eaten and you're tired. So everybody stand up right now. Everybody stand up. I need you awake for this because Asia is important. So let's stretch. Okay, are you ready? Get all the wiggle worms out and then go ahead and sit down. You know, I was asked to talk about why I like Asia. I was asked to talk about how Asia works there, or how the opportunity works in Asia. And so it's not coming up in the teleprompter. That's fine. I don't need that. I like to talk. So sorry, you're going to be stuck without on the teleprompter. You know, this weekend we have heard that for the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen, ending extreme poverty is within our reach. That is exciting. We've heard about the tremendous strides made over the last few decades, and we now believe that opportunity and partnership with other organizations around the world can continue to make significant progress. They talk about 2030, I'll be 80 at the time, and I want to pledge to meet all of you at the summit in 2030. I'll be the one with the walker. And as I meet you at the summit, I want to be able to share with you and have you share with me that extreme poverty is done. It's a pretty exciting thing. You know, I personally, as you've heard, have been on 4 boards for Opportunity over the last 12 years: Nicaragua, US, Global, and Australia. And I have 1 more year in the Australian board, and then I'll be in the mandatory timeout period. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Fresh blood is always a good thing for boards and new ideas, and I believe strongly in that. Now finally, so now you get the teleprompter going and you put up photos. Okay, well that works. But I've been privileged to see opportunities work in Asia and Indonesia. I've fallen in love with these women. In this case, they're community healthcare workers. And I've fallen in love with the partnerships that we have formed over the years and that allow us to help these women as they are striving to bring their families out of poverty. And as we've heard this weekend, they are achieving the success and they are breaking the cycle of poverty. So why have I chosen to devote this final chapter of my life to Opportunity International and to the mission and vision of this organization? Why am I still traveling over 125,000 air miles a year, most of it for opportunity? These are the faces of why. These are the faces of why. You know, the work of opportunity is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the great hows of this, and that I think is why we're all here. But in addition to that, I think each of us has our own personal why. And so I'm going to steal from Johnny Carson, for those of you who remember Johnny Carson, and he would do the top 10 when he was doing his TV show. And we're going to start with number 10. Reason number 10 of why I do this. I was born in the United States of America. Right there, I won the birth lottery. For those of you who were born in the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, one of the developed countries, we're probably all likely in that 1% that Ward Brim talked about. And we all want, if we're sitting here in this room, we all won the birth lottery. for a variety of reasons, but just by nature of our birth. We didn't do anything to deserve it. We just naturally won the birth lottery. Number 9, I was born to a big loving family and raised in the Midwest, where I was encouraged to run free, explore all of my options, and just enjoy life. 5 siblings, we were very middle class, but you know what? We always had food, clothing. We always had people who loved us. We never had to worry about whether or not the water we were drinking was safe water. Reason number 8, I was born with a healthy body and a bright mind, and that I was taught from an early age by my parents that to whom much is given, much is expected. And that was something that stayed with me. Reason number 7, I was born at a time and in a place where it was accepted that a woman could be highly educated, and that she could be doing anything she wanted to do in life. Now, as we look at these women that I've come to love, none of them were born that way. And they've all broken a mold to become what they've become, the success they've become. Number 6, I met and married the love of my life. And in addition to believing in giving back to the community, the love of my life also challenged me to be the best I could be, to be everything I could be, and to honor God in that way. Reason number 5, we have 5 healthy children and 9 healthy grandchildren. Now, I'm praying for more because my youngest son just got married last month, but don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. Number 4, as a family, and we have owned and led successful businesses that have enabled us to provide good educations for our children and for their children. We've also been able to provide livelihoods for thousands of other people in our community. And when we needed capital to grow or expand, we always had access to capital. We could go in a bank, I could go in a bank and sign my name, and the check would be written. Part of the 1% again. Reason number 3, living in the United States, we take our health care for granted. Living in Minnesota, we take Mayo Clinic for granted, wherein people travel from all over the world to access the health care we have in our backyard. On one of my first trips to an area of extreme poverty, Ethiopia, we encountered at one point on a mud road a group of men carrying a litter. And the litter was a sick person, and they were carrying this person 30 miles to find health care. 30 miles. We take it for granted. Again, we won the birth lottery in this respect. Number 2, I was born both a natural optimist and a natural leader. So I am able to look at challenges and look at opportunities and think about wonderful ways that we might solve them. And that was a gift. You don't really, I think you're either born that way or you're not. And I was given that gift. And ultimately, reason number 1, and I think this is true of everybody in this room. Reason number 1, I am a child of God, called and privileged to answer his call to love and serve. You know, I survived cancer 15 years ago, And I knew there was a reason God kept me around, because all of us, I can't imagine there's anyone in this room who has not loved and lost someone with cancer. And I survived it, and I survived it, I know, for a reason. And I believe that reason, that God was calling me to serve him in new and exciting ways. Remember my childhood teaching that to whom much is given, much will be required. It means that in this room, as children of God, we are held responsible for what we have. If we are blessed with talents, wealth, knowledge, time, and the like, it is expected that we will use these well to glorify God and to benefit others. And for me, as Ward Brehm reminded us today, others include those who were born into extreme poverty on the other side of the world. Those who did not win the birth lottery. Those are my whys. Each of us has a personal why. Frankie, you shared your whys. Everyone in this room has a personal why. And so I'd ask you, what are your whys? My children think I should settle down some more. They think I'm getting too old to gallivant around the world, and perhaps I am, but as long as God's going to let me do it, I'm going to continue to serve these people, these women, these families, these children. But I urge you to prayerfully consider your own why. I mean, we have the how. For every great why, there's a great how. We're part of a great how. What is your why? And I want you to answer that question. Beware, though, besides probably putting more airline miles on your cards with this, when you answer, God will take you on an amazing journey of adventure, discovery, and service when you answer that why. And the reason I know this is because that is what he has done for me. Thank you for this opportunity to speak.